Viola Davis grew up in Central Falls, Rhode Island, a small city known for its tight-knit community, but also for its struggles with poverty. From a young age, Viola was surrounded by the realities of hardship, and her environment shaped her in profound ways. Her childhood was marked by deep poverty. The house she lived in was small, drafty, and often cold, especially during the harsh New England winters. The furniture was old and worn, and warmth was a luxury they could rarely afford. There were rats in the walls, and food was never enough. Viola remembers the constant gnawing hunger and the shame that came with it. Sometimes she would open the refrigerator and find only a few scraps, wondering when the next meal would come. Her clothes were old and worn, handed down and patched up as best as possible. Other children teased her for being poor, making her feel isolated and different. The sting of their words stayed with her. Viola's family struggled every day just to survive. Her parents worked long hours at difficult jobs, often coming home exhausted. They counted every coin, stretching what little they had to provide for their children. Despite their efforts, it was always a battle to make ends meet. Despite these hardships, Viola found moments of joy and hope. She played with her sisters in their small backyard, laughed with her family, and dreamed of a better life. These moments of happiness gave her strength to keep going, but the pain of poverty left scars that would take years to heal. The loneliness, the hunger, and the longing for more shaped Viola's heart and spirit. She often turned to her imagination and dreams as a way to escape. Through it all, she learned to be strong and to keep going, even when life seemed unfair. These early years taught Viola resilience, compassion, and the power of hope, qualities that would guide her for the rest of her life. Viola's childhood was also shaped by racism. From a very young age, she became aware that the world did not always treat everyone equally, and that her skin color made her stand out in ways she could not control. She was one of the few black children in her school, and this made her feel different and alone. Every day, she faced cruel words and actions from classmates who didn't understand her or where she came from. Other kids called her names and made her feel unwanted. Sometimes the bullying was so intense that she would run home from school, her heart pounding, just to escape the harshness of their words and the sting of their laughter. The pain of being treated as less than was heavy and hard to carry. Viola's skin color made her a target, but she refused to let hate define her. Instead, she tried to hold her head high, even when it felt impossible. Her family became her safe haven. They taught her to be proud of who she was, and reminded her every day that her life had value, no matter what anyone else said or did. Their love gave her the strength to keep going. Viola began to see her strength, even when others tried to break her spirit. She learned that courage wasn't just about standing up to others, but also about believing in herself, even when the world seemed against her. She learned to stand tall, even when the world tried to push her down. Through every challenge, Viola discovered a resilience within herself that would guide her for the rest of her life. Viola's family life was complicated. Her parents loved her, but there was struggle and pain. Her father sometimes drank too much, and her mother carried her own wounds. Arguments and sadness filled their home. Despite the chaos, Viola felt a deep bond with her family. Her sisters were her closest friends. Together, they faced the world's challenges. They laughed, cried, and protected each other. The emotional scars ran deep. Viola often felt invisible and afraid. She longed for safety and acceptance. These feelings followed her into adulthood. But even in the hardest times, love was present. Family gave Viola the strength to keep fighting for a better life. Viola found her escape in acting. In a world that often felt heavy and uncertain, the stage became her sanctuary, a place where her worries faded, even if just for a moment. She joined her school's drama club, and honestly, she felt so alive on stage. The energy of the lights, the excitement of the audience, and the thrill of becoming someone new filled her with a sense of purpose she'd never known before. Acting became her safe place, where she could finally express her true self. Each role she played allowed her to explore different emotions and stories, giving her a voice she didn't always have in real life. On stage, Viola could be anyone she wanted. She could step into the shoes of heroes, dreamers, and adventurers, leaving her troubles behind for a little while. She could forget her hunger and pain, even if it was just for a little while. The applause and laughter from the crowd made her feel seen and valued, something she deeply craved. The applause and attention, well, they gave her hope. Each performance was a reminder that she mattered, that her story was worth sharing. She realized that her voice really mattered. The words she spoke on stage could move people, make them laugh, or even bring them to tears. Acting was more than just a hobby, it was her calling. She spent hours practicing, memorizing lines, and perfecting her craft, determined to become the best she could be. Viola decided to chase her dreams, no matter how hard the road would be. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but her passion gave her the strength to keep moving forward. She worked hard, studied her craft, and, she never gave up. Even when she felt tired or discouraged, she reminded herself why she started. Through acting, Viola found freedom. The stage became her world, a place where she could dream big and let her spirit soar. She discovered her power and began to believe in her own worth. With every performance, Viola grew stronger, more confident, and ready to face whatever challenges life brought her way. Viola's journey to success was not easy. She faced rejection, typecasting, and doubt. Hollywood was not welcoming to Black women, especially those who did not fit the mold. Viola often heard she was too dark or not pretty enough, but she refused to let others define her. She took every role she could, big or small, and brought her whole self to each performance. Slowly, her talent began to shine. Winning her first Tony Award was a turning point. More roles followed, but the struggle continued. Viola kept pushing, breaking barriers one by one. Her determination paid off. Viola became the first Black woman to win the Triple Crown of acting, an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. Success did not erase Viola's pain. She still struggled with self-doubt and old wounds, but with time, she learned to accept herself. She realized that her past did not make her weak. It made her powerful. Viola began to speak openly about her struggles. She wanted others to know they were not alone. Her honesty touched many lives. She learned to love her skin, her story, and her journey. Self-acceptance was not easy. It took years of reflection and healing. Viola embraced therapy and self-care. She forgave herself for mistakes and learned to celebrate her victories. Her growth inspired others. Viola became a voice for those who felt unseen. She showed that true beauty comes from within. Viola's memoir is full of powerful lessons. She teaches that resilience is not about never falling. It's about getting up again and again. Her story is proof that hope can survive even in the darkest times. She reminds us that everyone has a story worth telling. Pain does not have to define us. We can choose to heal, to grow, and to rise above our circumstances. Viola's journey is about more than success. It is about finding meaning in struggle. She encourages readers to embrace their true selves, flaws, and all. Her message is simple: never give up. There is always a way forward, even when the road seems impossible. Finding Me is more than a memoir. It is a guide for anyone searching for hope and purpose. Viola Davis shows us that our past does not define our future. Through honesty and courage, we can find our true selves. Her story is a reminder that everyone matters. No one is invisible. Each of us has the power to change our story, no matter where we start. Viola's journey is not just about fame or awards. It is about healing, forgiveness, and love. She invites us to join her in the search for meaning and acceptance. In the end, Finding Me is an invitation to believe in ourselves. Viola Davis proves that with faith and resilience, anything is possible.